Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason. As always, my man is back. Zach is back. What's up, dog?
What up, Holmes?
Had a nice little week off with the baby and the wifey last week.
Oh yeah.
I just realized you haven't been back on the podcast. You tried to sneak back on Friday, but yeah.
It wasn't happening, dog.
My grandma, I talked to my grandma yesterday and she's like, you guys better watch it. That cute little handsome boy on the podcast might just take your guys' job. She was talking about Blake.
he can have it. He can
oh,
take
man.
job.
He's good, man. Blake's a stud. He wasn't very good on his picks, though. We'll have to give him a little crap on that.
Hey, it's an art form. He's new. He'll learn. He's new. He'll learn.
He reached on a couple, but hey, don't we all?
Yeah, like Darron Nguyen. Oof.
Oh, that was bad. I
gotta give a shout out. I gotta give a shout out to Fierce's newest sponsor for the show this weekend. Ben Moa was supposed to fight on the card, got hurt, but he still is part of the show as a sponsor with his Best Realty group. I was actually giving a little advice before we started the podcast, picking his brain a little bit on the housing market. Everybody's wondering, like, do you want to buy right now? Like, do I want to sell and do this stuff? And I'm not going to, not get too much into my personal situation, but I kind of told him what was going on, and he actually gave me some really good advice, made me see some things from a different angle, kind of a different strategy that is pretty smart. So shout out Ben Moa. If anybody is looking to buy, sell a house, hit up Ben Moa with it's the Best Realty Group. His number is 801-866-6868, or you can just come to 1-8 and get punched by him like I do. Not right now. He's in a sling, but
yeah, not right now. He could still probably knock you out, though.
No, I'd fight him right now.
You're like, I'll fight him right now.
I'll fight him right now. That's what we were talking about his graphic designer for his logo, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna fight your graphic designer. He's like, yeah, go fight him. And I'm like, actually, you know what? I'd fight you right now. You got a sling, one arm.
Got a sling on. Just kick it real quick.
Yeah, everybody in the world, including him, everybody in the world was at Garth Brooks over the weekend.
Yeah, Zach, I know a guy, Partridge. That should be your nickname. Hey, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's not a bad nickname.
I think you and I both prescribe to that. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes, sir.
It's all about relationships.
It's all about relationships. No, but we gotta. Yeah, it's gonna be. Here's the thing that I just learned about Ben, though. I will say this. This is what I try and do with my insurance business, and I will say this about Ben. He gave me an alternate advice than to sell my house right now, even though it would be in his best interest to sell my house.
Yeah.
He was like, I would tell you to do something else with it based on what the market's going to do and where you're at. And that's what I try to do with my insurance clients. And that's the type of guy Ben is. He's not doing what's best for him. He's doing what's best for the client.
Exactly. Because
he knows that builds relationships going forward. And that's the type of guy Ben is.
100%. I think that goes a long way when I have a mechanic like that, where I'll take my car to my mechanic and he'll tell me what's all wrong with it. And he'll be like, man, you don't really need to do this, but you do need to do this or else you're going to have some problems.
Yeah, you trust him.
But the other stuff, you're good. I'm like, okay, like I like that. I appreciate that. And you want to know what? Everybody that needs a mechanic goes to him. So
that's why. And I this morning, love and miss you, Tyler. I still run down to Big O Tires in Salt Lake to his store because his guy Zack down there still takes care of me just like Tyler did. But that's why I go to those guys, because Tyler would always be like, dude, you need to do this. Like, or whatever. Or be like, bro, you don't need to do that right now. Or like, hey, just so you know, just heads up. Here's what it's going to cost you in the next 6 to 9 months. You probably will need to look into it. You know what I mean? Like, he's just honest about it. He didn't do what was in that store's best interest that day to get the sell. He was honest about it.
Yeah.
Why I ended up, even though there's a Big O Tire in Kaysville where I live, I still drive down to Salt Lake to that store.
Yep, that's it. Fiji. We need to get Fiji back on the podcast.
Yeah.
We need to get him back on. Shout out to Ben, though. All right, let's talk about this card. Well, I was dead wrong on the first fight with Roman Delids and Kyle Dawkins because I thought Kyle Dawkins was going to be able to pull this off. He didn't.
He sure didn't.
He looked a little off. Did he seem off to me? Or did Roman make him? Or was Roman just making him be off?
I think there's a lot to that. There's having an off night, and then there's just somebody else that's a problem for you. And here's the other problem. I'm trying to pull up the card here.
That's what Fiji says. He seemed hesitant. Maybe the power. Maybe he got hit with something, and
here's the problem. When something happens that fast,
it
usually tells me that sometimes like Kyle Dawkins, he kind of likes to fill it out. He's not like a fast starter.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you're not a fast starter versus somebody that's like Roman, like he doesn't really care. He's not going to wait and measure his range and his timing. He knows he's just going to back down on his mouthpiece and he's going to march forward, Styles make matchups, and that's one that doesn't get talked about a lot, is a fast starter versus somebody that likes to find their range and do all this and that, Like if I was going to fight Israel Adesanya, your best chances in that first 60 seconds to like catch him and hurt him.
Yeah.
Because after he starts finding his range and his feints and stuff like that, well, not saying that Dawkins is Israel Adesanya, but he's long. He likes to kind of pick you apart from the outside. If you just get on him and stay on him, he just never found any rhythm.
Yep. Big win for Roman. Next up, we had Darron Nguyen and Phil Hawes. Hey, this was the first one. Blake picked Darron Nguyen, thought he had a good chance.
I thought he had an okay chance.
I know you text me and you said, does he have a chance? And I'm like, well, Blake picked him on the podcast. He's,
Well, we've learned that doesn't mean anything. No offense, Blake.
No. But, man, if you're a fan of elbows, Phil Hawes was throwing some wicked elbows. He was leading with elbows. Did you watch the fight?
Yeah. If you're Phil Hawes, though, I think that showed something really well, right? His last fight is he got knocked out by Chris Curtis.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And for him to rebound that way, like, no offense, but he probably felt a little disrespected that Nguyen wanted that fight, considering that Nguyen's the most undersized guy in any weight class in the UFC.
Oh, yeah. I was teasing Joel this morning and told him he's going to be Darron Nguyen in his next fight. Oh, Phil, yeah, he came back. Those elbows, man, we were in the group text with Steve, so he was just throwing wicked elbows. And I probably thought the fight should have been stopped a little sooner. I mean, you could see it in Darron Nguyen's eyes. He was out minutes before that, in my opinion. But
what did you think about Phil Hawes and DC's interaction in the cage after?
You know what? I didn't see it. What happened? I missed it.
Phil Hawes was screaming at DC, "You picked the wrong pony," and this and that, and because you got to remember, Darron Nguyen trains with DC, and DC's the commentator and the in-cage announcer.
Yeah.
He's screaming. He's screaming at him, you picked the wrong pony and this and that. And DC's like, I don't pick fights.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's like, Darron's my boy, but like, dude, like what, like Darron came out of it and they whatever, but it is tough if you're going to be in that position as a commentator and a coach at a gym.
Yeah.
And and then you're going to be the in-cage commentator. Like what if Khabib would have lost and DC had to interview Conor or Gaethje or Poirier? It'd be hard.
Well, it'd be like somebody from your gym that's fighting, or with Joel's last fight. If I had to go in there and interview Steven, like it's like, oh man, it's hard when you're training with somebody like.
Dude, I mean, I'll be honest, like. I consider Cole Schaefer a really good friend.
Cole Schaefer,
one of my really good friends. And having to interview Ryder Newman after their fight, I was like,
well, both of us, even on the mic.
I got like, it was so hard. I'm like, don't be a jerk. Like Ryder just came in and did his job. Like, there's no bad blood there, but it's like,
he's a friend.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, he's a friend of ours, and it's obviously we can separate that, but it doesn't mean it's not hard. Next up we had Cody Stamann. Man, I think everybody knew this was on there. Cody Stamann looked really good. He was out for blood in that one.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew though.
There was a little backstory with Eddie Wineland. He called one of our I won't talk about it on the podcast. I'll tell you after the podcast. It was little sweet revenge. Let's just put it that way.
Dude, just say it. Who cares?
He was calling Aleko's first pro fight where he got a legal knee.
Yeah.
And he made some comments about it being a beautiful knee and all this. And
he basically implied that Aleko faked an injury.
Yeah. Right? So Aleko wanted, got a little.
Aleko trains with Cody Stamann.
Yeah, he trains with Cody Stamann. He's a great guy. We got to get him on the podcast sometime. I like him. He's from Michigan. So shout out Cody Stamann. Next up, we had Maria Oliveira and Gloria DePaula. Actually, Blake did pick Maria on this one, and I went with Gloria only because I thought the experience and Maria having that 2-year layoff was going to be a difference. Wow, she looked phenomenal. Her striking looked. Whew. Is it the name?
What's that?
Oliveira? Is it the name that she just she looked good.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost my page there. I missed that fight.
Yeah, you need to go watch it. Like, her striking looked phenomenal. I mean, we talked about it on that podcast with Dom right before this one of how people take those little bit long layoffs and what are they doing during that layoff?
Well, like sometimes you see a long layoff, ring rust, whatever. And why were they laid off? Is because they were being dedicated, they weren't into it, personal issues. Like, why? And then some people just take time off to sharpen tools and to get better. And when you can take like a year or two off, and that's all they're doing when they come back, they're a different fighter. How do you game plan for that person? You know what I mean? Shout out to
our boy Joe Harrell was on the Mindful Meathead podcast with our sponsor, Savage Underdog, and he talked about taking 5 years off of jiu-jitsu to specifically train stand-up, Muay Thai, because that he had the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling background because he wrestled through high school. And he said on the podcast, hey, I took this time so that I could sharpen those tools during those 5 years. And now look at him.
He's one of the most prolific strikers in the state.
And everybody thinks that that's what he's known for. They don't realize that he has those other
ground base.
Yep. So you could tell Maria.
It's like Bryce Mitchell. Oh, they're going to find out. No.
Same thing. Same thing with Bryce Mitchell. It's like,
next up, he was on the Theo Von podcast, and he's like, if you're about to fight somebody, would you give him a heads up that you're a fighter? And he goes, no, I'm not going to tell him. They're going to find out.
Man, you never know these days. You got to be careful. I catch myself driving down the road sometimes when I'm on a road rage, and I'm like, dude, just don't. It could be Kent.
Kent Mafaleo.
And he gets out of the car. Oh, man, I'm sorry.
Fiji.
It could be Fiji. Can you imagine Fiji getting out of the car? You cut Fiji off, or he cuts you off, and you flip him off, and he stops the car at the light? Come on, bro. I would just speed off fast. Next up, we had Ricardo Ramos over Danny Chavez with a beautiful spinning back elbow. Did you see that one?
I did. And what's interesting is Danny Chavez is known for being durable.
Yes.
And he was out on his feet.
I just caught the end of that one. Did you realize 9 out of the 13 fights? Try speeding off. I'm picking up your car. You probably would too.
Forget that, dude.
9 out of the 13 fights ended in finish on this card.
Yeah.
9, and all nine finishers got the bonus too, which I thought was.
And only one submission. It was 8 knockouts.
We've had 2 just phenomenal cards. And this next week's card's banging too. On paper, it's Sarukian and Gamrot is the main event on this one.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Next up, we had Jeremiah Wells and Court Mcgee, and that one didn't end well for our hometown boy. And
how long is Jeremiah Wells?
Yeah, because they said it on the broadcast.
It's not like I know or anything, but what it looked like to me is Court's hand wasn't all the way up. His hand was down a little bit, but it was down because it was like he was out of range. And Wells' lanky go-go gadget arm just comes around on that hook and
That's the first time Court McGee's ever been knocked out like that, right?
Yeah.
TKO'd by Ponzinibbio, but
not slept like that.
Never slept like that. Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. You do this long enough, it's going to happen.
And that's what he said on his post. Yeah.
And even Khabib, even Khabib, if he would have gone long enough, eventually he would have got caught. Right?
It's a game of inches, right?
I mean, Islam. Islam's been caught.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He lost. Everybody thinks he's,
you know, it's like
the next Khabib.
We're all human. We all have. I mean, Court's as tough and as durable as they come, but if you get hit in the right spot, it happens.
Yeah, and Wells can crack too.
I mean, Court has honestly looked as good as he's ever looked in his career, and for him to do that, Jeremiah Wells has got to have some steam coming.
Yeah, what does he got? He's a 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on a 5-fight win streak.
Yeah.
And he's 3-0 in the UFC right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was impressive. What do we have up next? We had
Natalia Silva
and Jasmine Jasadavius.
Natalia Silva's a little savage.
You know what? I was all over Jasmine on this one, and Natalia just took it. She
coming off that long layoff. Whew.
Yeah, that was another one that came off a long layoff and looked phenomenal.
How sharp is she?
Jasmine she couldn't do anything. She was stuck in the mud, as Connor would say.
My favorite is at the end. You know, it's desperate when you start jumping and trying to do jumping hammer fists.
Yeah,
you're like, that's all I can do, and not just get cracked.
That was a beatdown. I think she even got a 10-8 in the second round. If I look at the scorecards right, I think it was a 10-8 second round. Yeah, that was a beatdown. Next up,
I'm excited to see Natalia Silva though, because I don't think you see too many girls at 125 pounds that her striking is, I dare say, elite.
Yeah. She looked phenomenal.
I mean, she's gonna have to, she's gonna have to prove herself and stuff. But her last loss was in 2017 to Marina Rodriguez.
Great takedown defense too. Jasmine couldn't do anything. Nothing. That's Adrian Yanez getting some sweet revenge for the Brazilians knocking out Tony Kelly.
Is Tony Kelly the most unlikable guy in the UFC right now?
Did you hear what Tony Kelly said, that Tony Kelly was calling him in the cage?
Called him the Wish.com version of Jorge Masvidal.
That was good. That was a good one. I mean, he got knocked out.
Until you get slapped.
Yeah. He's got to be the most. Is he more unlikable than Kobe?
For me, yes.
Yeah, I think he is too. Because there's something about because his seems more real. His seems like that's the way he.
Oh, it's like this arrogance about So did you listen to Giannis's post-fight press conference interview?
No, not yet. I haven't listened to the post.
Go listen. He's talking about he's at weigh-ins even. And here's the other thing. It's one thing to be that way. He missed weight.
Yeah, and he missed weight. I tried, bro. I tried. I did see weight.
You talk smack. He wasn't. He didn't even apologize, I don't think, for what he said. And we said, whatever. You even said, get the mics out of the corner. But yeah, I mean, whatever. But Giannis, usually he's a little measured in the beginning, and he just came out firing, and he's the best. He is the best boxer at 135. It's not even close.
So where does he go from here? I'm pulling up the rankings right now.
Well, he said, even if I get ranked, I'll probably fall out of the rankings because there's so many good 135ers right now.
Yeah.
That somebody will probably jump him before he gets to fight again. So he says right now, I think I'm anywhere between 14 and 20. That's where he sees himself ranked.
How scary is that? Because he probably beats a lot of guys in the from 10 to 15. Actually, he probably beats a lot of the guys from 5 to 15.
A lot of them?
I mean, I think he beats Song Yadong. I think he beats Pedro Munoz. I think he beats Frankie Edgar. I think he beats Ricky Simone. Sean O'Malley would be interesting because he's
So
long.
time out. Ricky Simone's interesting to me. Have we seen him against like a super strong wrestler yet?
We haven't.
He's kind of been getting matchups of people that'll kind of stand with him, right?
Yeah.
I am interested to see is somebody like Ricky Simone, I think, could give him a lot of problems.
It'd be interesting. I like the kid.
I don't like the kid. He is my favorite prospect in the UFC. He is my favorite prospect in the UFC. And listen to his post-fight interview or his press conference. He was so good. And he's just like, I'm always getting better. There's always going to be somebody better than me. So I have to keep getting better. And he's like, and he even was critiquing himself on the Tony Kelly performance. He's like, I could have been sharper. I should have been quicker. He goes, he kicked me a few times where I didn't return anything. That can't happen. Like, if I want to be elite, like, I got to start doing this and this. I should be faster, cleaner, sharper. And, like, him knocking out Tony Kelly was about as clean as you could get.
That was pretty clean.
And he was critiquing himself on areas without even rewatching the fight, just from his memory. He's like, he hit me with the check hook really well. I should have never even been in position to get headbutt on the nose. Like, that mindset is what's going to take him to the top.
Yeah, you're right about that, Fiji. Son can definitely crack.
Yeah, Giannis sleeps Song Yadong.
You think he sleeps him?
Sleeps him.
Song's got a fight coming up in a couple weeks, doesn't he? He's fighting Corey Sandhagen, September.
That's a giant jump up for Song Yadong.
I think so.
Because
that's where we
Sandman by submission. How about that?
That's number 9 and 4 in the rankings. I'll put 20 on it against Zack. Ooh, when that happens, there you go.
Bet. Hey, Fiji, did you used to trade with Song Yadong in California? You mean a homer?
And a body shot. Ooh, Zack, you might want to rethink this.
That's not fair. You got way more padding than I do. You and Mason.
Oh, there you go, right there. He did.
Exactly. Yeah, see, homer. Sandhagen wins. I will bet you the $20, and I will let Mark Gonzalez take my place on the body shot challenge. How about that with Fiji?
That's fair. That's fair. Two heavyweights.
Yeah. So don't worry, Mark. I just volunteered you to take a body shot from Fiji.
Mark's going to be chiming in here. What? No. Oh, man. Poor Mark's going to be watching the fight like I was watching the freaking Volkanovski and what's his name fight.
Yeah.
No, Song versus Adrian Yanez. That's what he's saying. Well, why does he want to do Sandhagen? Why do you want to bet on Sandhagen?
Yeah, I'd still take Yanez. I think Adrian Yanez is top 5 right now, 135.
Top 5?
Yeah, I do.
Ooh.
The only thing we haven't seen is if a strong wrestler can just take him down and control him. Yeah. But you know what's so fun at 135? Jan, striker. Sandhagen, striker. Dillashaw can strike. I mean, they all can wrestle and grapple, but like they'll stand with Yanez. But I don't think too many people should be standing across from Yanez because nobody has better boxing in that division. Nobody.
Yeah, you're right on that one. You are right on that one. $20 if Song is like, okay, that's it. All right, we got it. $20. We got it. It's on record. All right. Next up, we got Gregory Rodriguez and Julian Marquez. We thought there was a chance that Marquez could pull an underdog.
Dude, RoboCop he can crack.
He can crack. Yeah, he can crack. What is he? Oh, he lost that. He's lost his last one in split decision, but before that, he was.
He didn't, and I didn't think he lost that fight at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Yeah, I mean, he could be a problem for some people at 185. He's big. He's a big 185er.
He's big. He's athletic. He can crack. He has good takedown defense.
He's only 30 years old.
He's only 30.
Interesting.
Career gatekeeper. How about that?
This was my fight of the night. Ismagulov against Kutatalaza. That was my fight of the night. Those guys were
it was incredible.
Racking. Phenomenal fight. I would have been fine with the...
Again, 155er, Dadmir Uzmalugov or whatever. He's 24-1 and he's not ranked.
Are you kidding me?
He's 24-1. He goes, let alone title shot. What do I got to do to get a 15 next to my name? I'm 24-1.
Well, Kuta Delaza, he's a problem.
I mean, he hasn't lost since 2015. And that's when he was 5-0. He lost to an 8-1 guy. And then he's just ran off a bunch of wins. And he has wins over guys like Thiago Moises, Rafael Alves. I mean,
he's a problem. He is
he's 5-0 in the UFC.
I would not want to be a 155er in the UFC right now. Dude, all the guys coming up, even Kuta Delaza, who lost, he's 1-1 in the UFC. Like, dude, he could easily beat a lot of these guys. Oh man, that's a scary division. That is a scary division.
It's terrifying.
Terrifying. Thoughts on Irish Ian Gary against Gabe Green? Green had a great debut against Daniel Rodriguez and a big KO. Man, I'm a huge Ian Gary fan. I love Ian Gary. He's really good on the mic. He's young. He's big. He's long. Gabe Green. I don't know, man. I got to dig into that one a little bit more.
When we do our breakdown for UFC 276, we'll do a full recap. We appreciate you tuning in, Rye.
Yeah.
We'll do a full breakdown for you.
But I am a huge Ian Gary fan. Next up, you had Buckley versus Daruv. Blake picks Buckley on the podcast. I said I'm not betting the fight. I said because I can't, because of our rules. I'm not betting against the Russian. But I thought Buckley had a really good chance, and he came out to prove a point in that one. I think he took a little slight to Daruv, saying he wanted this fight because he thought it was going to be an easy fight. They used to train together.
I think it just depends on what Buckley you get.
Well, that Buckley looked really good.
Because sometimes he looks great. And then sometimes it's like, maybe that knockout was like a flash in the pan knockout. You know what I mean?
Dude, he's only lost is Kevin Holland and D. Chirico in the UFC.
I know.
I mean, he's an athlete. He's big.
I'm just not a huge Buckley fan.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know why.
Well, we've heard a few things about his training ethics and training, and
maybe that's why.
A lot of people, but I mean, he's looked good.
He's looked good. I want to see him and Jim Krause fight.
Ooh,
they've talked about it. They don't like each other. Krause said, "You're not welcome at my gym." Pretty much.
That's right.
Like they don't. They both kind of have bad blood. I want to see him fight.
I don't know if Krause wants that fight.
I think Krause picks him apart.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Kevin Holland back on the Batman train. He stops another robbery from happening at the liquor store the night before. Him and his uncle, I guess. Did you hear that? What is that now? Like 4 times he's stopped a crime from happening? It's like 4 times in the last couple months that this guy's.
Why is he hanging out in all those shady parts of town?
I'm wondering that too. Like, what are you doing, dude, to be in that many situations? Around. How do you put yourself in that many situations?
Yeah, I went and rewatched that fight. You killed me with your text messages. You text me, Tim Means is getting him.
Well, for a second, he looked all right. You know, he's all right.
You killed me because I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch it. I went back and watched it. I'm like,
I honestly wasn't. I didn't even really watch.
It was Tim Means winning that fight.
The 10 seconds that I was watching it, I didn't even see the finish. Honestly.
Oh my gosh, Jason, you need to stop texting me unless you're like watching.
Oh man.
Next time you said always guys, I want somebody wobbled before you text me next time.
Get you thinking.
You know what I'm going to start calling you?
You had I knew you probably had him in
knee-jerk Jason.
I knew you probably had him in a parlay or something. So
you're a knee-jerk reaction guy. I did have him parlay and it hit nicely. Thank you very much. You're knee-jerk reaction, Jason. Somebody lands one good punch. Oh, he's gonna win.
He's going down. He's done. He's finished. How about this main event? Did you agree with the decision?
No, I didn't. Not only did I not agree with it, I hated that two of the judges gave Emmett the 4th round.
Yeah, that was
That's
very surprising.
insane to me.
That was very, very surprising. No, it was the 3rd round. No.
No.
What?
It was the 4th.
No, only one judge gave Emmett. Chris Lee gave Emmett. The 5th, they all gave it to Kattar. They all gave it to Kattar in the 5th. The 4th was the one that 2 judges gave it to Kattar, and then Chris Lee gave it to Emmett.
That's right. So Chris Lee's the one that I have a problem with his scorecard.
Oh, his scorecards are always horrible.
Because he gave the 4th round to Kattar. That is ridiculous. There is, I don't care what angle he was sitting at. He screwed that round up. Which we're all human, and that's fine. He missed that round.
I mean, we were all in our little group chat, and we all thought Kattar won. But then when we started to break it down, it actually was a lot closer because round 1, everybody kind of felt Emmett won round 1, right? The judges all had him in round 1.
So I thought
it was close.
See, I thought that the round 2 was the one that Emmett clearly won.
And 2 judges gave it to Kattar.
I know. But I thought round 2 was the one he clearly won. I thought going into the 5th round, at worst case for Kattar, it was 2-2. But he could have already been up 3-1 going into that.
So I was listening to the post-fight thing. I didn't listen to the conference, but I listened to the post-fight thing before we came on here. And they brought up, which it didn't really make sense. They brought up that Kattar was landing that jab and Emmett was basically just walking through it. But I'm like, was he really just walking through it? Because his face didn't show that he was just.
His face says that he got cracked all night.
And Dutch has always said when he's come on here before, he's like, I look at what these punches
damage.
And that's what I thought too. I thought, maybe if Emmett did seem to be landing he was throwing the harder shots, it looked like.
But Kattar was blocking a lot of them with his forearms.
Kattar was doing more damage. So it's like at the end of the day, like, isn't that
effective striking?
Isn't that number one?
I mean, Emmett would come forward with these big leaping combos and like land, and it would push Kattar back. And I get the optics of him being pushed back, but the fact that they weren't landing cleanly through Kattar's guard.
Yeah,
maybe some of them got him, but I didn't even think it was a good, entertaining fight. But I didn't even really think it was that. It was close, but I didn't even think it was that close. Like, I thought Kattar clearly won that fight. Like,
but if you thought it was 2-2, then it's close, right? It's a coin
flip
going into the 5th, right? Yeah.
But I thought Kattar, like I said, like that was worst case scenario for Kattar. I thought Kattar was up 3-1. I said maybe if somebody gave Emmett. See, okay, so because like where I could get down with, I'm looking at the scorecard here. Sorry.
Yeah, I have it up too.
Sal De Amato gave Emmett 1, 2, and 3. Where I don't agree with it. I knew those 3 rounds were close enough.
Yeah.
That wrong angles and whatever. I could see how a judge could have seen Emmett win 1 or 2 of those rounds, or all 3 of those rounds. Like those were close enough. I thought Kattar clearly won rounds 4 and 5.
So I'm looking at the same thing you are. I think Crosby's scorecard was about what I was thinking. But if you look at the media scores,
Crosby's scorecard is exactly how I thought it was the worst case for Kattar.
You look at some of the media scores on here, and some of these guys are
idiots.
I won't say it, but they're idiots.
I will. They're idiots, and they're clueless. Yeah,
there's a couple of these guys are freaking clueless on this. Ryan Frederick guy, I can't stand hearing his stuff. But there's a couple MMA junkie guys, couple MMA. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that had Emmett winning, and then the rest having Kattar. So it's like, I mean, I didn't necessarily hate the decision, but
it wasn't like
same thing.
a robbery.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a robbery, but I really thought that Calvin won the fight.
The same thing like Fiji just said. Close fight, but had Calvin winning clearly. And you just said it too. I thought for sure he was going to get his hand raised.
It's
the Steve Sharp curse, bro. It's the Steve Sharp curse. I'm telling you. If you want somebody to win, you just have Steve bet on the other guy.
That's so bad.
It's proven.
Poor
It's a proven fact.
Poor Steve.
I can back this up. You didn't believe me on Saturday. I'm like, no, bro, I'm telling you, it's true.
Well, I said, Cannonier has 0 shot. And he goes, watch, I'll bet on Izzy and Cannonier wins.
Yeah. I'm like,
there's no way. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that stuff.
He sent me his little slip and it said he had Kattar winning for his little parlay. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to tell him that Emmett's probably going to win now. And he did. Oh man.
There's not a better way for it. There's two points I want to make on the judging. Is one, I just hate the fact that 2 of the 3 judges saw it one way, and if we had 3 other judges, that Kattar could have won a unanimous decision, and if we had 3 other judges, Emmett could have won a unanimous decision, and if we had 3 other judges, that we could have had a split decision for Calvin Kattar. Like,
I mean, should we even have split decisions? Give it a draw. Pay both the guys.
Dude, it affects their paycheck. That's what I don't like about the split decisions.
Yep, 100%.
It's like, so depending on who's employed that night or not, like depending on who got the assignment that night or not, it determines like half of your money.
That's the part I don't like. I agree. I hate you're 100% right on that.
Or you know what? Maybe if it's a split decision, both guys get half of their win bonus.
Yeah. Something should be done about that. I mean, if you're in a fight that close, did you really lose? No, because one judge thought
leave it to the hands of the judges.
One judge thought you won. So did I really lose the fight if one judge thought I won the fight? Did I really lose? But I lost how many? I lost $100,000. I lost $50,000.
Yeah, that
sucks,
bro. That
sucks. That's the only thing.
If it's a unanimous decision, fine. But I think if it's a split decision, you should be compensated somewhat for that.
That's the only gripe I'll have on fighter pay. We tried to get in a little Twitter beef with some people, but they didn't respond to us.
Who did?
You and I. You commented on the one where the one guy said something about, oh, I wonder if Dana does this something. And I said, I wonder if you've ever ran a business before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shoot him.
You've always said it too. It's like, what? I mean,
dude, if it was easy, we'd all do it.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's not easy, dog. When you have one guy that refuses to quit and another guy that refuses, let's be honest. Most finishes is because a guy breaks.
Yeah. True.
Is that fair?
Yeah. 100%.
Cardiovascularly, mentally, whatever. Yep. The guy breaks, and that's how you get finished, right?
Yep.
Like we see it time and time again. Somebody's got full mount, punch in, elbows, whatever, and then they go, I've had enough, and they roll over and they give the back, and then it's just they give the choke up. Like,
yep.
They quit, right? Like Conor McGregor, when Nate Diaz did that, he quit. Right?
Amanda Nunes.
She quit.
That.
And it's not like a dig at him. I'm just saying the other person broke that person.
Broke it.
Right?
Yep.
And that's a part of fighting. But when you get 2 people that will not break, and there are people, Josh Emmett and Calvin Kattar, I've never seen either of them break.
Yeah.
Josh Emmett's fight against against Shane Burgos, he tore his ACL and it had a brawl for 3 rounds with a torn ACL. Yeah. Calvin Kattar got obliterated by Max Holloway, but his body just would not break. Like he wouldn't break, right? Yeah. Some people just won't break. And when you're in there with 2 people that won't break, the 155ers, The guy's now 24-1 and 12-3 or whatever. They wouldn't break. And when you get people in there that won't break, it's pretty hard to finish them.
Yeah.
You have to put their like Jorge Masvidal. He doesn't break.
No.
You have to put his lights out. Nate Diaz never broken a fight.
No, he's not cracking.
You know what I mean? And so to be like, well, don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Well, what am I supposed to do against this other trained killer that's mentally sound and everywhere that won't break? Then what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And then hope the judge sees it. And then hope at least two of the judges see it in your favor.
Yeah.
Gosh, man. That's a hard.
I'm happy that Dana paid at least everybody that finished the fight.
Yeah. And for people to be like, Dana is selfish. He doesn't take care of fighters or whatever. Dude, he does stuff like this all the time. Nobody's praising Dana. Oh, Dana, thanks for being. Nobody's praising Dana today.
Yeah. No.
It's like a little bit of entitlement. Oh, it's the way it should be. By the way,
just because you broke before don't mean you'll keep breaking. That's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too. It's just
Oliveira corrected that narrative.
Oliveira corrected that big time.
And I've even been slow to come around on that, but finally I'm like, you kind of got to give it to him that dude's in a place where he won't break.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's it for this card. Are we going to be able to record on Friday, or do you want to try to do it on Thursday?
We might need to do it on Thursday
because we got weigh-ins Friday. If you haven't got your tickets yet, fiercefightingchampionship.com. Go get your tickets. If you want to come check out a little jiu-jitsu before the fights, come check out the Proving Ground Invitational. That will be happening it starts at 3:15.
Yep.
3:15. Doors open at 2:45. It's an all-female tournament. It's got some high-level females coming in here to compete.
Guess who we get to see in Salt Lake City?
Who?
Marcin Tabora versus Alexander Romanoff was just announced.
Okay. All right. Romanoff smashes him, but
we get to see Romanoff body slam his coach.
In the cage. Oh, man. Oh, hey.
Shut up, Mason.
We might have a little sorry, I'm late. He says we might have a little gem for the little announcement they're going to make for UFC coming here with Dana White and the owner of the Jazz. They're going to do a little press conference, and I don't remember the day. It's this week. It's tomorrow. Maybe it's tomorrow, but we might be able to upload part of that interview on our podcast.
We'll see.
We're working on it. We know some people, Zach. We know some people.
Oh, somebody knows somebody. I know a guy. I got a guy.
I know a guy. Zach, I know a guy, Partridge. All right. We'll probably see you guys on Thursday for our breakdown.
We need a better way that these people that interact and have stupid takes like Mason to just bring them on camera so that we can argue with them.
I can always just invite him, just send him his email and just come on, pop in here.
Because Mason's wrong. I mean, yeah, he won because Tapology said it.
Yeah. That was a tough one.
I love Josh Emmett too. I think he's great. And he's right. The winner, I hope he finally gets a shot. I hope he gets a shot. I hope he gets the winner of Volkov Holloway.
It's not going to end well for him. Either one of those guys.
I want to see him fight those guys. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun, but dude, it's just he's almost 38 years old.
Cowboy up. Let's go.
By the
way, did you see Joe Lozano?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see his TikTok? Somebody DM'd his Instagram and say, "Hey, this happens to me all the time. It's your tibia and fibia dislocating. Do this exercise and it will unlock." And he did it and it unlocked and his knee's fine now.
Was it the knees over toes guy?
No.
That's interesting.
It was a fan. This happens.
Interesting.
You have to do these exercises and it will, but it dislocates. His tibia dislocates from his knee, and so he can't bend it. But you have to do these certain exercises and massage it or whatever. He talked about it on his TikTok. Super crazy.
I'll have to check it out.
They need to stop trying to book that fight. It's cursed.
Well, Dana said he's not. It's not happening. He said he's not rebooking that fight. Done.
So Cerrone says he has 3 more fights. He wants to hit 50. Who do you want to see him fight?
I don't.
You know who I want to see?
At 155 or 170?
You go to 170. You ready? You ready for the 170 fight?
Who?
Nick Diaz.
Why? Nick Diaz?
Nick this time. Nick says he wants to fight him by the end of the year.
Okay, Nick says he wants to fight?
Nick's manager said he wants to fight again by the end of the year.
I could get down with that.
Nick looks so slow and old.
On a fight night, I could get down with that.
Or like Robbie Lawler, Cerrone and Lawler.
That wouldn't end well for Cerrone.
You sure? Lawler hasn't looked good at all, really.
Neither is Cerrone. I know he wants 3 more fights, but what 3 guys are you going to give him?
Don't feed him to a young lion.
Yeah, he already said he doesn't want the young lions. You said he can't.
For sure, don't do that.
Are we going to see him in bare knuckle?
No, he needs to just ride off into the sunset of his BMF ranch and let him chew on that chew. You know, get that big Y in there.
He did not look good to me on the scales.
He doesn't look good at 155. Dude, it's got to be a rough cut for him.
Oof. Yeah.
Let him fight. Let him just fight some guys at 185, walk around weight 185. No weight cut.
I like the Diaz fight. I could see that. That's a fan fight, right? Everybody loves Cerrone. Everybody loves Diaz. I like that, actually.
Nate gave him the double bird on their last fight.
All right.
Who else? Right. Can we get who else can we get out of retirement? Have him and Masvidal fought?
Masvidal and Cerrone. I don't think so.
Can we do that fight?
Let's see.
Ooh, I have an inside scoop on the co-main event of the Salt Lake City card.
Ooh, what is it?
I can't tell you.
Why? Text it to me. Is it good? Can you just say if it's good or not? Here, he beat Cerrone in 2017.
Okay. Here.
Knocked him out.
I'm going to text it to you right now. But you can't say anything.
Okay.
But just face expression. This is who wants on this card. And I have an inside scoop on this.
Okay. Sorry, I was just checking my feedback on some stuff.
You're killing the moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we knew that. We knew that.
But that's done. He's on it. He has 3 opponents that they're trying to pick from. And I know the 3 opponents too.
Okay. I like that. That's good. Julian Ruiz and Patty Pimblett. Julian Ruiz and Patty Pimblett. Julian will piece them up. Julian might piece them up.
Jordan Levitt's going to twerk all over Patty Pimblett.
Oh, man.
They're in the wrong weight class, Darron.
Patty's a 155er, isn't he?
Patty's a 155er.
Julian's 145. That's right. Yeah, you're right. Patty's got a tough fight coming up against Jordan Levitt.
He's gonna get twerked on after he gets.
Unfortunately, I think he wins that fight. And
how dare you, sir?
I know.
You're just saying that Jordan. Jordan Levitt's not coming up to commentate with you now.
Well, I'm a little upset about that, but no, actually, I was going to be the one getting bumped out of it.
Hey, listen, quit being a hater. What? Our boy Jordan Levitt's going to end that Patty Pimblett hype train.
I hope he does. I am hoping he does, but just
Patty Pimblett annoys me.
Yeah.
You know who I hope owns it? I hope Cole Faust gets to the UFC and ends the Patty Pimblett hype train.
I'm not a big fan of with as much as he lets his nutrition go after his fights, you could preach all you want that this is the way I do. I'm going to enjoy myself. It's going to catch up.
You're never going to get to the top.
It's going to catch up.
Oh, and I do like one thing I do like about Patty Pimblett.
What's that?
That he hates Mark Zuckerberg and goes after him openly on the mic. I think that's great.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's pretty fun.
Oh man. All right, we'll let you guys get out of here. We'll see you guys on Thursday for our breakdown of the fight night.
Darron Championship. Good fight.
Hey,
Saturday,
great
brother.
fight Saturday, Darren. Great fight, man.
Big fan of yours.
See you guys on Thursday. We out.